Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at, well, a really specific prediction about the times we're in, maybe the times we're just stepping into.
Yeah, it's based on some recent material, a YouTube video from the Clif High Sci-Fi World channel.
Right, the damn phone calls video.
Yeah,
Uploaded, what, April 22nd? Pretty fresh.
exactly. And it ties into some Substack stuff too about ether pirates, but the core idea is this period of intense revelation.
A 21-year period, specifically, that's the main focus today, right? To sort of unpack what the source claims about these next couple of decades.
That's the plan. It's presented as a way to understand, the nature of what's going on, potentially offering a unique perspective.
Okay, so let's dive in. This 21-year window, 2025 to 2046, that's the time frame we're talking about.
That's the one the source flags as the primary period of secrets revealed.
The secrets come out. But it's not just a slow trickle, is it? The source suggests it's concentrated.
Very much so. They emphasize that while things might still emerge after 2046, this 21-year block is the main chunk, the most intense part.
And 2025, this year, is singled out.
Yeah, potentially the most intense year within the whole 21 years, like a kickoff year.
Okay, interesting. But this isn't just plucked out of thin air, context-wise. There's a bigger picture here, something about cycles.
Right, exactly. To really get it, you need to zoom out. The source talks about key yugas.
Yugas, and specifically the Kali Yuga, two of them back-to-back.
Yeah, two 1,200-year Kali Yugas, making a 2,400-year stretch. And the Kali Yuga is generally seen as, a more difficult age, spiritually darker, maybe.
So coming out of that long period, there's an after effect, like shaking off sleep.
That's a good way to put it. The source calls it a hangover period. They date the end of the ascending Kali Yuga to around 1700.
Around 1700, they weren't totally sure. 1699, maybe?
A little uncertainty there, yeah, but roughly 1700. And this hangover itself has phases.
Okay.
A primary 300-year hangover, so 1700 to 2000.
All right, 300 years. And then comes what they call the emergence period.
Yes, a 75-year emergence period starting around 2000. This
Yeah.
is supposedly when humanity starts to get its act together.
Shaking off the hangover for real.
Kind of, yeah. Moving towards the next age, the ascending Bronze Age, or Dwapara Yuga.
Dwapara Yuga. And full emergence is 2075.
That's the target year, according to this model, the end of the 75-year emergence window.
Okay, so this 75-year emergence, 2000 to 2075, it's not all one thing either, is it? It's broken down further.
Correct, into three 25-year phases.
Let me guess. The first one wasn't great.
Hey, well, the source calls 2000 to 2025 the phase of destruction.
Destruction. Okay. And the next 25 years, that takes us up to 2050.
That's the phase of chaos. And significantly, that's where we are right now. April 2025 puts us right at the start of this chaos phase.
Chaos. Lovely. And the final 25 years, 2050 to 2075.
That's the building phase. So destruction, then chaos, then building.
So this chaos phase we're supposedly entering, it's not just pure randomness.
No, the source describes it more like the churn as the destruction fades and the building starts to emerge, an in-between time.
Okay, I see. It's the transition.
Exactly.
Well.
And here's the crucial link. This 21-year period of secrets revealed, 2025 to 2046.
It falls right inside this chaos phase.
Perfectly. It's presented as the most maybe dangerous, but also the most revealing part of this whole emergence process, when most of the hidden stuff comes out.
So by the end of 2046, the idea is we should know a lot more about, well, how things really work.
That seems to be the implication, yeah. At least regarding what's been hidden.
Okay, so what secrets are we talking about? What does the source expect?
They kind of categorize them. First, there are what they call mundane secrets.
Mundane, like everyday secrets.
Well, mundane relative to maybe the cosmic stuff. Think power, sex, money, the usual suspects.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Like political scandals, financial stuff.
Exactly. They specifically mention central banks and something called the Babylon money system.
Babylon money system.
Right.
What's that likely referring to? Just general critique of finance or something more specific?
It sounds like a catch-all term for perceived systems of financial control, maybe debt-based systems, with central banking being key. So, Expect reveals about how money really works, according to this view.
Okay, the mundane level. What else?
Then it gets more esoteric. They talk about deception.
Perception by whom? Or what?
This is where concepts like the Demiurge and disincarnate evil come in.
The Demiurge. Like a lesser creator or a false god, that kind of idea.
Yeah, drawing from Gnostic ideas, it seems, the source frames it as a force behind the world's deception.
And this leads to understanding a binary reality. good versus evil.
Something like that, a two-principle world, as they put it. They even bring in interpretations of religious groups within that framework, distinguishing between, say, Talmudic and Torah traditions in Judaism, linking one to this Demiurge concept.
Wow, okay. And speaking of religion, there's a big prediction there too, isn't there?
A huge one. The source predicts that religions, because they supposedly originated in the Kali Yuga,
they're expected to basically die out during this 25-year chaos phase.
that's the prediction, fading away as we move into a different age or state of consciousness.
That's a massive claim. Why would they fade so quickly?
The logic seems to be that they're tied to the Kali Yuga's level of understanding, or maybe deception. As humanity ascends into the Dwapara Yuga, the need for those structures, or their relevance, disappears in the face of maybe more direct truth.
Replaced by new understanding, perhaps? It's bold.
Definitely. And then there are the other big ones, aliens and zero-point technology.
Ah, the classics. Aliens finally revealed, and zero-point tech, like free energy from the vacuum.
That's the idea, hypothetical energy source, yeah. And interestingly, the source connects that tech to the next phase.
The building phase,
Yeah.
after 2050.
Right. So the suggestion seems to be reveal the secrets, including the tech, during the chaos phase.
And then actually use it to rebuild in the building phase.
Yeah.
Makes a certain kind of narrative sense, I suppose.
It provides a timeline, yeah. Reveal, then implement.
Okay, what about the singularity? That term gets thrown around a lot, usually about AI.
All right.
But the source uses it differently.
Very differently. Not a date, not specifically AI-driven, but an experience for humanity.
An experience? What kind of experience?
It's described as having a few parts. One is self-revealing ontology.
Ontology. Like understanding the nature of being, our own existence.
Exactly. A fundamental shift in understanding what we are and what reality is. Then there's grasping the event stream.
Event stream, understanding how things connect.
Yeah.
Cause and effect on a deeper level.
Perhaps more holistic comprehension, maybe. And the last part is getting the eternal now concept of time.
The eternal now. So time not being linear. Past, present, future, all existing somehow.
That seems to be the gist. A major shift away from our standard linear perception. So the singularity here is about consciousness expansion, fundamentally.
A collective awakening, almost. Profound stuff.
Definitely sounds like it.
So how does all this happen? Do the secrets just drop all at once?
No, the source suggests it'll be in waves.
Waves. Like peaks and troughs.
Yeah, periods of intense disclosure. Then maybe quieter periods for things to sink in. Then another wave. Not a constant fire hose.
And they mentioned triggers. Things that could kick off a wave.
Right. They gave examples like the Epstein material surfacing more widely, or maybe major disclosures about aliens. Stuff like that could act as catalysts.
Makes sense. A big reveal opens the door for others.
Potentially, yeah. Creates momentum.
And we're right on the cusp of a big wave now, according to them. This summer of emergence.
That's what they're anticipating for 2025. A significant kickoff, starting maybe late May, early June.
So very soon.
Seems so. They expect even bigger things in the fall and winter, but this summer is when the mass of revelations hits the general public, catches people's attention.
And there was a personal observation, too. Something about chemtrails.
Yeah, the speaker noted personally not seeing chemtrails lately and predicting a hot year.
Hot, like weather-wise, or emotionally.
Both, it seemed. Hot weather and emotionally hot because of all the secrets coming out. An interesting side note.
Definitely adds a personal flavor.
Yeah.
Before we wrap this part, there was that brief mention of something else right at the end. A pyramid.
Oh yeah, the Tartarian pyramid, briefly mentioned as being built for energy gathering compared to Giza.
And then the audio cut out, didn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately. Left you hanging. But it hints that the scope of these secrets could be really broad, touching on hidden history, alternative tech.
Beyond just money and politics. Fascinating tangent.
It really broadens the possibilities implied by the source.
Okay, so let's try and pull this together. We're looking at, according to this source, the start of a 21-year intense period, 2025-2046, for secrets revealed.
Right, situated within a 25-year chaos phase, which itself is part of a 75-year emergence from a Kali Yuga hangover.
And the secrets range from, the mundane stuff, power, money, the Babylon system,
to deeper deception involving a demiurge, a binary reality view, potentially the end of current religions.
and the big reveals. Aliens and zero-point tech, which might fuel the subsequent building phase after 2050.
And this whole process isn't necessarily linear, but comes in waves, possibly starting in earnest this summer.
It's quite a framework. As you listen to this, think about how this perspective lands with you. Does any of it resonate? What parts spark your curiosity?
Yeah. Which potential secrets seem most plausible or maybe most impactful if they were revealed?
It definitely leaves you wondering, if even some of this were to unfold, how fundamentally could it change our understanding of, well, everything? As we supposedly move towards this ascending Bronze Age, what does that transition actually look like if it's paved with revealed secrets?
A lot to ponder there for sure. How does revealing the past, even a hidden past, shape the path forward?